Welcome back. Number 11. Make sure you subscribe on the way in, Royals, and hit the bell. That way you are aware of when I go live and when I update videos. Or upload videos. We are talking about 𝒀𝒐𝒏𝒆, the correctional officer, and her falling in love with the inmate and their love story all ahead, which ain't quite love, but we'll get into that later. Make sure that you head over to TikTok and follow her. That way you can follow the story, and then we'll come back here and we do our reaction to it. Make sure you drop your opinions in the comments and what you would have given advice to your younger self and why some of the red flags that you see. To this point, it's been 987,052 million. But we're going to keep adding to it because she holds herself accountable as well. So let's get into it. Number 11.
Welcome to part 11 of my experience as a CO. So the next morning, we went to like a gas station to like brush our teeth and use the restroom. I absolutely hate public restrooms, but I had to do what I had to do at that point. So after that, we went to one of his friend's house and he loaned us some weed and some money to be able to eat and also get gas. So now y'all kind of understand why I adored that friend of his. Like, why I really like him. So after all of that, I think his mom called and wanted to talk to us. I vaguely remember the conversation. I remember him telling me like my mom wants to talk to us. I think she might let us come back. At that point, I did not want to talk to her. I'm not even gonna lie, because I felt like she played with me. And I felt like she could have went about what she did a whole different way. So just to like clear it up, I believe we slept in a car for like 2 days until his mom called. So he was like, so my mom wanted us to come to the house and she wanted to talk to us. So when we got there, it was like so weird, y'all. It was so tense. Like, it was so weird. All I remember her saying is, you know, you have to get a job. Like, you can't stay here without doing nothing. And I remember her saying, I know you're worrying about my son, but he gonna do what he wanna do. You have to take care of yourself.
Isai? Wait though. Y'all, can you believe this is the conversation that you pulled them back in to have? You're again still talking to this girl, but not talking to your son. Why aren't you talking to both and saying, you guys need to fix this? You guys need to get a job. You guys need to not be doing X, Y, and Z in my household. And instead, you still go for her? That doesn't make any sense at all, period, whatsoever. How could you do? I don't understand. I really don't. He gonna do what he want to do. So you basically telling me that I am now responsible for your son and what you have allowed him to do his whole life and what he will continue to do, because you're not even backing up what needs to be done. And I know for sure nothing is going to change because you're not driving that change, and you allow him to act this way. And now you expect me to resume where you have left off and contribute to your home. What bills change because that man is there? We just talked about bills being the same no matter if somebody lives there or not. So if you are allowing somebody to get on their feet, 1 month for somebody who relocated definitely ain't it. To this point, your daughter using her car, you just using. Help her. She's 21 at this point, and help your son be a better man for himself so that he can also provide. But at this point, what cushion are you allowing them to actually get on their feet so they can get out, and let them know that that is the goal? No, your goal is to have money for you inside of your pocket to help relieve some of whatever it is that you're going through. But if you got a whole man, please explain to me why you need this from them, because he was gone for 6 years. What did you do during those 6 years that you all of a sudden want me to come into your goddamn household and fix it in 30 days or less? That is absolutely asinine. I am so grateful that I have never had to deal with a boyfriend like that. I really am. My fat ass didn't just choose anybody. Everybody I have been with has been of substance, which is why I've been able to still maintain friendships, Have we had rocky paths in my dating relationships? Not so much. The long-term ones, of course, because I grew and got older and they grew and got older. But this type of shit, this shit right here, this is the shit you run from immediately, which is why dating and courting is important. So you can get out of there like Speedy Gonzalez. Like that. Here we go.
So after the conversation with her,
punched her in the face.
You know,
Don't
we came to an agreement like, okay, I'm going to get a job. You know, I'm going to help you. And, you know, that was that. So the next day, I had went to a hair salon. Because I'm like, I can't keep this job. You know, like, I can't keep the job at these warehouses because they're too far out the way. You know, he's dropping me off, going with my car. I don't know what he doing. So I went to this hair salon down the street from where we was living. Like, super nice hair salon in Lancaster. So when I got there, you know, I looked at a mess, y'all. Like, I was so tore up. Like, so tore up. I looked at a hot mess. I was embarrassed to even ask her for a job because she probably was like, look at you. Like, what, you want to work here looking like that? So, by the grace of God, she gave me, like, an opportunity.
Looked it is not a word. It's looked. Okay. And then number 2, let me just tell you what it means to me to be a good person. To me, being a good person is seeing inside of somebody. That's also emotional intelligence. Is also what being a Christian means to me. Yes, she walked in and she didn't look her best, but she had potential. And sometimes God will still show up for you, right? Because generally, you're supposed to show up for the job that you want and show up and present your best self. But sometimes there are people that God puts in your way and in your space so that they see something in you that maybe you don't see in you. Or they give you grace or show compassion or understanding, give you that chance, that olive branch, because that's how God shows up, right? Because you technically shouldn't get looked at for this. But when they say that God will prepare a table, God will give you grace, God will put you in places that you should not be. This is an example of that. And that's how we get to see God, because it goes against what the norm is. So when you get these type of opportunities, do the best that you can with these opportunities, because that person is being obedient and listening to something on the inside of them that is telling you to give the person that chance, or give you that chance. So do your best, not that you're kissing nobody's ass, but you're telling God, number 1, I see you and thank you. And then you're also telling that person, you didn't make the wrong decision. Thank you for doing what you probably shouldn't have done for me, and I'm going to show you that I can be my best self so that you don't regret that decision. And then it doesn't make that person close off from making that same type of decision for somebody else. We always in our culture say, why don't nobody ever help me? Nobody ever does this, nobody ever does that. And then there are so many of us that have done it, and we end up getting bit in the ass by the very person that we made the exceptions for. And we don't want to keep doing that. Even if you can't perform up to expectations, there's a way to exit, and there's a way to not go down, right? Separate yourself before it goes that far, because that's where the respect and integrity and all of those things come in. So short cap there, because I appreciate the beautician as well, or the shop owner, for giving her an opportunity where she didn't show up as her best self. And then note to self as well, you had no problem reaching out to your mother when you needed something to, to do or to have money for. That was an opportunity for you to reach out to your mother and say, Mom, I need an interview outfit. How to this point don't you have an interview outfit when you interviewed to be a CO? I don't know if your size changed or whatever, but you could have reached out to ask for money so that you had at least one outfit to show up as your best self for your interviews. And hopefully he didn't drive you there. Don't let people drive you there and be seen. Okay?
So I was talking to her and I was like, I'm a versatile hairstylist. I can do everything. I can do quick weaves. I can do sew-ins. I can do braids. I can do wigs. Whatever you need me to do, I can do it.
Talent.
She was like, okay, do you have pictures of your work? And I showed her pictures of my work, and she absolutely fell in love with my work. that made me so,
Be prepared.
so happy, y'all. Y'all don't understand, because not only did I find a job down the road from where we was living that I could literally walk to if I needed to, but I found a job for my passion, something that I liked at that moment.
Still being
something
blessed.
that would work around my schedule. So she was like, I'm gonna let you work here, but you have to pay booth rent. So that became like another problem for me. She was like, once you get the money for booth rent, then you can start. I kind of explained to her like I didn't have the money, you know, at that moment. She was like, okay, I'll let you start. And once you make the money for booth rent, then you can pay me and pocket the rest. So like I was thanking her. I was like, thank you so much. Like I really appreciate this. So I called my mama because my mama was so worried about me. Like I didn't tell my mama that, you know, I was sleeping in my car, because she would have made me, like when I say made me come home, she would have made me come home. So like I called her, I told her the news. I was like, Mom, like I finally found a hair salon to work in. Y'all, mama was so happy for me because she knew at that time I loved to do hair. So she was like, this is what I'm going to do for you. She said, I will pay your booth rent so that you can pocket the rest of your money.
Do y'all see the difference between these two mothers? She literally has an amazing life with a great support system, and she allowed, out of what she believed was love, for somebody to take time away from her. The most important thing is time that you can't get back. And remember, she was a CO, but her mother is still supporting her, still having her back. Whereas look at what his situation looks like. As a woman who has dated a man who did not have the best relationship with his family, and you know, they have some areas of opportunity. I don't like to talk about people to that degree if they're not manipulators and things like that, and didn't hurt me in that way, because everybody has a past and it impacts some of the decisions that they make. But if they're still good people, I could rock with you because you're not taking it out on me. I want better for you and I pray that over you, but you're not a mean, manipulative user, nothing like that. Then I could have compassion for you and stuff like that. But that's where people like us and a lot of women fall into a trap where we keep hearing in media, oh, women only want men who make money, this and that. Our race is completely different. Our race, to me, is the one we are so far behind because we are so acclimated to accepting what we shouldn't accept out of love. We follow love first versus money. There are plenty of women who are with men that make less, don't have the same opportunities, and to a certain degree, it's like survivor's remorse. We feel bad because we have a particular opportunity that somebody else doesn't. We don't quite understand it. And so we just feel like, oh my gosh, wow, this is happening. I'm going to be the person that shows them what love looks like. I'm going to be the person to kind of pull them over to my side. And meanwhile, you sometimes get sucked into their world instead of you pulling them out of their world because they make you feel guilty. You have people around them that talk to you the way that the mother is talking to her, and you feel like you are wrong, or because you have different opportunities, you're made to feel bad, called stuck up, you don't understand, you think you're better. All of those things are used to imprison us. That is a form of, that is a slave mentality. And we have to train our daughters to make better decisions and identify those things. And we have to train our sons to not do those things to people as well. There are women who do it, and then men, you know, take care of them and do all of these things. But I'm sorry, it's more on the woman's side. A man is a clean cut. You do something to him and he's like out of there more often than not. There are some that don't. But for women, we stay around too long taking things, and we're conditioned to do it from the time we have to forgive that family member, or be humble, not speak up, be modest, all of those things, when you should teach your daughter to, or your nieces, your sister to walk with her head held up and knowing that she is worth this. Yes, that man may have been through some things, but that's still not the man for you. I didn't put all of this into you for you to give it away to somebody else. If you truly like that man and you think he can go on a good path, then let him show you first. And let him show you a significant change. And that includes therapy before you even decide to look his way. Otherwise, date somebody that's equally yoked with you. We have to start dating better people that are equally yoked. That doesn't mean money, but spiritual guidance, God, the desire to be better, the desire to change, the desire to break those generational curses, wanting more for yourself. If you can't tell me what you desire for yourself with the look of passion on your face, I don't want you. Point blank, period. And that's always been what I wanted for myself, because that's always been what's required from me, of me, from my family. That was instilled in me. So on that end, that's why I have my hard stops. And I want all of us to have our hard stops. And if you get called names, you was going to get called those names anyway. As my grandma would say, I'd rather be a rich bitch than a poor hoe. And that don't make more sense now, baby. It makes all the sense now. Quote me on that. Carry on.
Like, y'all don't understand how much that meant to me. Because I literally was putting my mama through so much with her stress. And, like, everything that happened to me was, like, a blessing. Like, I just thank God for my mama. Like, I wouldn't know what to do without her. Like, I couldn't imagine not having a supportive mama. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't cry on camera, but it's kind of like triggering some emotions, because at that moment I was going through so much. Like, and it was only the beginning. That's the crazy part. So, like, I was telling my mama, thank you. Like, thank you so much, because now, you know, we can eat. Now I can afford to pay, you know, his mom, so that we don't get put out again, because he still wasn't working yet. So, like, that was really a blessing for me. And I was, like, so grateful. So after all of that, I got back in the car with my boyfriend. Go to part 12. Welcome to part.
Y'all see how she broke down crying? When you are grateful for the family that you have and the love of your mother and the love of the people around you, the great support system, how blessed you truly are, no matter what dumb mistakes that you have, and you truly feel that in your whole soul, it can bring you to tears. And I get it. I do. And that is why when you see somebody go through something that you can't imagine them having to go through, you see it different. I'm sure that there were certain points, like she mentioned, I can't imagine my mother not being there, but you're watching a mother not be there. I can't imagine my mom not loving me like that, but you're watching a mother not love like that. And it's of the person that you see as a good person and want to be with. And so it tugs at your heart and it clouds your vision. Love is blind, not just because of the D. It's not that. You could take that off the table. It's because your heart is like, it's broken for that person. You begin to carry their burdens because you're seeing it live and in action, and you just can't fathom how this is happening. So you make excuses. Well, you turn the reasons why somebody could be a certain way into the excuse for why they are continuing it, because it's continuing to happen. It's real. It's real. And so you just don't understand. So when you're dealing with somebody that has made different decisions and they did it because their heart truly was pure, whether it was a stupid decision or not, why do we focus more on it being a stupid decision, or oh, it's because you were fat, or it's because you were dark skinned, oh, it's because it's always something with us in our fucking race, instead of saying, don't ever change who you are, but baby, let me show you how to do it. Don't ever change who you are, and it doesn't mean you a bad person if you separate yourself. You have to protect your energy, your space, what God is trying to give you, because God will only give you so much as well if you're around the wrong person. And he will take some things away so that you feel uncomfortable. You will never be comfortable. You will never get where you were supposed to do, because he didn't position you there, and you're not listening. And look how many signals that she got that were very straightforward, but her heart was tugging at her. How can you? That's victim blaming too to me. It's victim blaming. Let's start teaching each other more, sharing more about our real stories and what happened, to the point that you can and when you are ready to. And let's start speaking to each other with a little more passion. I will admit there's certain things, like anything with children, anything like that, it's hard. It's very, very hard. But there are some, like y'all going, like a R. Kelly situation, completely wrong for everything. But then when you see that man cry and you understand what happened, you understand the reason, but you still don't give an excuse. Two things can exist. We have to start being nicer to each other, and we have to definitely start protecting and providing provision to our girls as women. We owe that to each other. Point blank, period. Subscribe, share, and let's head over to number 12. Hopefully you click that bell, and I hope that you're enjoying our reaction videos. And drop in the comments what you would have done to this point, advice you can offer, or share a story. Also, if you want to be on the show, the information is down below. Talk to Madam, and you can reach out and give show ideas as well. Thank you for everybody that's supporting. I just hit a new milestone, so I'm super excited. So thank you for joining this journey with me, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.